Good morning. It's Bobby Dupre with the Bobby Dupre Show, presented to you each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. And, of course, the program replays in its entirety on the cable stations on Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. And those of you watching it on the internet, whichever device you choose, computer, iPhone, whatever, cell phone for that matter, you can watch it after the first showing at 7. Anytime after that, it's up in the cloud, available 24 hours a day. And we have a lot of the programs are still shown archived. Mm-hmm. And all the photos are still on there from, we think, the beginning of the program on television. And that's moving right along. Working on my 40th year program. Started in January of 76. So January of 2016 will be 40 years.
Wow.
Long time, but been fun, a lot of fun, and hopefully it's entertaining. Some of you tell me you've been watching since we started on the radio, and a lot of the area, of course, couldn't catch the radio back in those days, but we had a good listening audience, and then when we went to television, of course, it brought it into another. Then you and the staff at KDCG television in little old Opelousas, one of the smallest stations that were doing live programming and all, and you started streaming. And I was telling the world, and I challenged anybody to say we weren't the first one to do streaming, and not just my program, but all of our programs that you do in-house or on-site for that matter. They were all streaming. And nobody's ever questioned it. Now, even the big boys have streaming models out there.
Right.
Another station that they own. And, of course, we owned probably 3 or 4 call numbers for that matter.
Yeah, we did.
And I think that all went to Eddie and Charles.
I'm not sure. I think there's a statute of limitations on those. I think they came back up.
Oh, okay, available.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyhow, we were on the cutting edge right there in Opelousas. And what was the young man's name? I asked you the other day.
That was, now it's on the tip of my tongue. And
he lives right here.
John Arsenault.
John Arsenault.
That's right.
He helped with that program. He was
sure
one of the first ones to give us a hand. And he was kind of ahead of his time in some ways. I wonder, have you ever seen him lately?
I haven't seen him lately. No.
Yeah, we saw a lot of him back in those days.
Yeah,
we saw a lot. So it's been fun, and we've got to remember Tom Daly, because all of this was done under his watch and his leadership. And I picked him out to be the leader of our television programming back in those days. We started out with the ad insertion. And that did very well, and then that eventually got us into OWL, Opelousas, Washington, and Leonville. And then we finally got into, and we did programs there, and then people enjoyed it and encouraged us, and then we went into the television. Broadcasting.
Right. In 94.
In 94. You remember all that. That's great. That's great. When I write that book, I'll have to bring you in a few times and
cite me as a source.
Yeah, source, yeah. Well, I won't pay you now. Look, I want you to know. You're going to do that lagniappe.
There you go.
But anyhow, we kind of reminiscing, but we're just trying to give you, you know, I'm always trying to encourage people. I've been doing that since I'm a young boy, really. Tried to encourage my friends to do better when they were boxing. I remember the time that I rubbed Riley Fontenot, gave him a good rub down. That was before we knew about this psyching him up.
Oh, okay.
And I rubbed, and I was telling him, you're going to win this fight. You're going to win this fight. And we kept talking like that. And you know what? He defeated... he was the manager later on at Opelousas, one of the food stores, maybe National Food Store. And he was a good boxer, but that day Riley put it on him. And, you know, just little things like that, I've always been encouraged, and I've always liked to see progress. And we're going to talk about a firm that's really, really grown as we get into the pictures. I'm going to take the time to talk about Progressive Tractor.
Sure.
And the growth of that company. It was doing very well when these three young men took it over, but they've brought it to another level.
Sure have.
And we're going to talk about that. We like to bring just good, all we do is bring good things. We don't get into anything else. And when I start talking about those kind of things, I get into another gear. There's so many people out there. Yeah. Well, I've seen so many changes, and I've participated in quite a number of the changes that took place. And it's just beginning. I see the experiences and the growth of my young daughter, Megan. She's taking her final today, Thursday.
Okay.
It'll be her last final for her second year of law school at Tulane. And I've seen her grow from the time that her mama and I, Ginger and I, and I guess Mac and Harry, we moved her into a dorm at Tulane. The first year they have to live in the dorm. And just a mere child, you know. And today she's finishing, this is her second year of law school, so that means 6 years of Tulane, attending Tulane. And, you know, 2 weeks ago she ate with dinner with the Supreme Court Judge Scalise from the United States Supreme Court. You know, and,
she's in good company.
And Bobby didn't do, you know, if it was around Opelousas, Lafayette, or, you know, Acadiana, they said, well, Bobby had something to do with that. This kid is doing it on her own. And what I'm saying is I hear these stories all of the time. The opportunities are out there. You just have to go get them. I give these scholarships away every year, and I've kept them at Opelousas High, where I graduated. I guess I know there's a good need there, and it doesn't. I'm not looking for scholars to receive them. Yes, we want them to be able to compete and attend college and do well, and then go back into the workforce, get into the workforce, we might add. But I think I'm going to go this year myself and hopefully get a picture. I've never had a picture of the whole group. I've used to go some, and but then we just present them the little certificate, and then when they time to register, they come by and they pick up their first half of the. It's $500, 15 of them at $500 a piece, and we give it in the 2 first semesters of college, and. But this year, I talked to Dr. Johnson. He just wanted to know, make sure I was still wanting to do it. And I said, yes, I am. And we discussed the numbers, still the same. And he says, you know, maybe you ought to come. I said, you know, I'm thinking of the same thing.
Yeah,
so hopefully I'm going to go and see these young people and kind of just tell them very briefly a little bit about my scholarship, my 2 scholarships that I got. And they were $15 a piece, but I still remember who gave them to me. They were very important to me at that moment. I got something, and that was Mr. Sidney Sylvester from Washington, Louisiana. He was a school principal for many years. He was a successful horseman, leader in the community, leader in establishing the Thoroughbred Breeders Association, that type of guy. And then Miss Parrott, who was state representative from Eunice, and they would get a certain amount of money, then they would divide it all up, and they were given, I guess they had decided they would give them $15 a piece. $1,000 would go a long ways, and that's what I think they got, was $1,000 to divide up. And but I still remember the 2 people, so don't think just because they're small, it's not something, but it was something that I was able to get. So anyhow, we just about the first
well, we got a couple of sponsors we need to talk about.
Oh, Lordy, yeah. Go ahead.
That's okay. I wanted to remind you guys to go visit our good friends over at JB Sandals in Opelousas. You can, there we go. You can visit JB Sandals on 312 North Main Street in Opelousas. Give them a call at 942-3564. Doesn't matter if you're looking for pipe fitting, galvanized pipe, galvanized fittings, poultry netting, hardware, cloths, welding wire, everything. I mean, you can't really say JB Sandals is this kind of store because they got hardware, they got kitchen items, they've got gifts, and they do gift wrapping there also, and gift wrapping's free.
Yep.
So JB Sandals, they've been in business for over 135 years, and they're going to be there a lot more. So go see JB Sandals in Opelousas. Let's also talk about Quarters Casino, just north of Opelousas at the Ville Platte exit. What number there?
23.
There you go.
I-49, exit 23.
Got that good Chevron fuel, and also El Pico de Gallo Mexican restaurant if you're wanting some good authentic Mexican food, and go see them over there. And
Hunt Brothers on their pizza.
That's right. And this week was Cinco de Mayo, so it's a good time to go over there and get
a little margarita.
Food. Margarita too.
Yep.
And of course, while you're there, try your luck at the many slot machines they have. And St. Landry Homestead, Opelousas, Eunice, Port Barry. You can visit them online at www.stlandryhomestead.com to see all of the new internet banking features that they offer. Cutting edge of being able to do all of your banking from your phone, from your computer, from your tablet, your iPad, anything like that. But you still get the old-fashioned service if you want to go in and sit down with a banker, talk about loan, whatever you need. They can take care of you.
Personal loans, commercial loans
too. They're doing those now.
Student loans. That's a lot of kids have to go pay their own way, and we're very fortunate. We have a good program that is available to those that so desire. So there's no real reason. If you want to go to college, there's a way to get there.
That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. So go see them at St. Landry Homestead and talk about student loans with them. www.stlandryhomestead.com.
Now we'll take that 1 minute break.
Sure.
Welcome back to the second quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show. In case this is your first time watching the program, we do it in 4 quarters. My sidekick, you didn't get paid for the first quarter. I forgot to check you in. Matt LeBlanc. And Matt, besides working on this little bitty computer right here, really, the big one is on the side here that you can't see.
Can't see it.
But it's about 2 by 18 inches.
Well,
18 by.
It's a 30. You're looking at a 32-inch screen is what you're looking at. And the computer and all that stuff. It's on a rolling cart. You can't see it. We got a computer, a switcher,
well,
an audio
I didn't realize
board, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's more than just that. That's just the picture
that's the whole
right
thing down here.
Anyhow, this is a sharp young man. I got to do a little bragging on him so he doesn't quit me too soon. Run off like Andrew. Andrew stayed, what, 15 years almost?
It's a while.
He stayed a good while. And Drew, good morning to you. I know you out there watching it, listening to it some kind of way.
I got to say this, too. I ran into Drew this week. I was shooting over at Corville Toyota, shooting a commercial for him. And Andrew was in the parking lot. He was doing helping them put some new light poles up in the front because they wanted to get a little bit extra light in the parking lot. And he said it was one time he can go to work in his jeans. You know what shirt he had on, huh? Jason Mesh for Judge. I said, Drew, the election's over, man. You won.
Yeah, well, you never know. Maybe they got their eyes on something else. These opportunities come up.
Look at Albert.
Running for lieutenant governor as a Republican.
Yep.
And Judge Genovese is going to be running for an open seat on the Louisiana State Supreme Court.
Yeah, sure
and so that's going to leave an opening on the Third Circuit Court of Appeals headquartered in Lake Charles. Who knows? Yeah. Maybe Jason's got his eyes on that.
Tell you what, I remember.
Probably let his feet get wet a little bit longer.
Probably so. And Jason's young. Yeah. Jason's younger than me. But yeah, I remember when Jimmy
got water running out back of his ears. Like they used to tease me about that. You don't hear that anymore. But
no.
that was a standing when you were young and you were doing something pretty good. They said, "Look at that, the water's still running," and yet he's doing that already. Okay, did you get your 2 sponsors in?
No, let's talk about those right now. I want you guys to go over and see them at the Medicine Shop in Opelousas. The Medicine Shop is located on South Union Street, right there next to Junior Schneider, and right by Chase Bank too, right in that area. See them for all your pharmaceutical needs. It's been part of Opelousas for over 22 years. Dirk Andrepont is dedicated to making the community a happier and healthier place. Medication packaging helps take the guesswork out of remembering to take your medication. They have a special packaging that they use, and they'll separate your medications into daily doses for you, making it easier and safer. Pneumonia shots, shingle shots, and a large selection of diabetic supplies. So go see them over at the Medicine Shop on 1717 South Union Street.
What's his wife's name?
Opelousas. Liz Andrepont.
There you go. You say Dirk and
Dirk
Liz.
and Liz.
There you
left
go.
You out, Liz. I'm sorry.
Yep. I bet she's right there helping out.
Oh, I'm sure. They say behind every good man there's
a good lady.
Mm-hmm.
A good lady. Okay, we are through with the.
Well, also we got to talk about the
more.
LHC group. We've got these right here. We're going to talk about the LHC group, of course, once again, in the healthcare industry there. For all your healthcare needs, Keith and Ginger Meyer started this company, and what they do is they provide any kind of healthcare needs or medical assistance that all of these doctors and hospitals use. They also have home health. They have hospice care. They just opened a brand new building on Heather Drive, Acadiana Hospice and Wellness Center. I'm sorry, Acadiana Hospice and Palliative Care on Heather Drive. Right next door is the Health and Wellness Center, which is their health club, and which has 24-hour access now, I might add, if you have a special cord you can get in. So that's really handy, competing with a lot of these 24/7 fitness joints, you know.
Well, good.
So yep, LHC doing a great job for us. And we don't want to forget Dixie Storage, located in Port Barre and Opelousas and Washington. You can go see them over at Dixie Storage for all of your storage needs. I want to understand, altogether they have over 1 million square feet of storage. That's a lot of storage.
That's a lot of storage.
So like you, that's a lot of concrete.
Yep, and that was kind of a brand that Mr. McCormick, the founder of Dixie, he would pour some concrete right after he bought a piece of property. That showed he had made his print on that place.
That's his flag.
Yep, that's right. That's his stake.
But Dixie Storage, very well secured storage, all the storage you could possibly need. They got rail spur access. Visit them online at dixiestorage.com.
Let's show a few pictures here.
Sure.
We have quite a few, but not quite as many as last week.
We'll start
We'll start
right
a little
here.
sooner. There you go. This is probably Wednesday night pictures right here. This is Evangeline Downs. This is one of Carl and Angie's young granddaughters. And that's a typical, that's what I try to...
That's a great picture.
This tells the story about being able to bring your kids, and look how interested you saw her looking. I mean, this kid,
yeah,
and they all enjoy it out there. So bring your family. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost a nickel to bring your family.
I need to do that.
Cold drinks are available. You know, food. They sell hamburgers. They cook hamburgers and hot dogs, and out there, out in the open. It's a fun place.
And racing is going on now. So.
Evangeline Downs until probably the first
what
10
nights
days.
Of the week do they do that?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Four nights of racing.
I'm gonna have to go
tonight, Thursday night, the first 2-year-old thoroughbred races of the year will take place, and I have a horse in that first
that's right.
Thursday, and it's the first race. They try to take the young ones and break them in while it's got some daylight, so they don't get confused, and then they grow into the lights as the year progresses along.
And you told me to bet everything I had on your horse, right?
Oh, I don't bet anything, so I don't tell anybody to bet it all. But, you know, it's a horse that I bought, a little story there. I bought this at an auction at Evangeline Downs that the Stemmons family promote. Don Stemmons and his family, and particularly Charlotte, Stemmons Clavier, who works at the Stemmons Horse Supply Store in Carencro here, and bought this horse. And that was about 2 months ago, and it's already ready to go. In other words, when you buy at these 2-year-old in training, depending on how long they've been working it out, this one had been worked in the gate and everything else. So he's ready to go.
Out the box.
Meg's big boy, his name. I had named one for Megan, Meg's little girl. And Meg's little girl is still running in 2015, and probably 6 years old, maybe 7. Just a tough little cookie, kind of like little Meg. And now that I'm thinking about it. But this is good. I'm anxious. There's only 7 horses in the race, so I don't know why there was such a short field. Maybe they kind of caught them not being ready. But anyhow,
is this
Evangeline Downs. No, that's one of my horses right there. We were saddling up. That's the same picture that the little girl was in.
Okay.
This is saddling. That's me with the tan looking clothes. That's Mr. Joe Rink with the cap and the black shirt on, and then Carl with the blue shirt. And I think this horse came out second. I've run 4 seconds. I haven't been able to get into the winner's circle, but second is better than third, as Mr. Joe says.
That's right. Now, talking of horse racing, you got some more horse
right
racing
here.
pictures.
This in the blue jacket and the red blouse jacket is Jim and Babs Lopez, and then that's Jim and his daughter and their spouses or friends, might be better, at the Kentucky Derby. That must have been the Friday, because on the Saturday it was a lot more crowded than that.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then this is a good picture of the family right here. Really good picture.
You see Babs doesn't have her hat on.
No, she said she wasn't going to have a hat. I could find her anywheres in the stand. Love you, Babs and Jim, and the family for that matter.
And this right
here. This was a picture that Vicky took off of the Facebook. And I think that was put on Facebook by Judge John Sanders from Ville Platte, Louisiana. And his big day is coming up. I think it's next week, where he has the old fellas, something like that. Anyhow, I try to go every year. It's a fun gathering, probably 75 to 100, depending on the weather and all. But it's a great event at Judge Sanders' home. And what's the next picture? Let's go. You don't be.
I went to that one already. Man, caught me slouching, huh?
Oh yeah, and this was maybe Saturday afternoon. I was possibly looking at it. No, do I have a pole in my hand?
No, you don't have a pole.
No, I don't have a pole.
Got a paper.
And paper. I was trying to read.
Some worms. I see some worms.
Yeah,
on the side
worms on the side.
And then we got
this picture here in from Noah and Lindsay Fakuri. They're up in Florida. They're doing well. That's the 2 boys. That would be Aiden on the left and little Riker on the right. I think I got them right. They look the same size now. They're a year difference in age, but they've already teamed up about the same, and they're playing baseball, and that's wonderful. They're doing well. They're going to be in a few days. And this was a little garden snake at the door that greeted Vicky. Anyhow, somebody was there with a shovel and took care of it. And this is James. James works for Miss Marilyn. Miss Marilyn's recuperating at home from that broken hip surgery, the second broken hip in 4 months. But she's in a lot of pain. And James is going to try to make the backyard look good and make her feel better.
I tell you what, man, that's a small mower to be cutting
that big weeds.
Look what he did with it.
Look what he did. Yep.
That is
amazing.
And
then we're going to Are we ready to show the Kubota tractor yet or not yet?
We can go down to that.
Okay, and then we're going to talk.
Yeah, you could have helped him on this tractor.
Yeah, but the finishing mower won't cut like it just won't cut heavy grass.
Okay.
That's a Kubota. That Kubota right here is about 40 years old, and I'm going to talk about my almost. I was driving from Vidalia. Natchez, Vidalia, up to Jonesville. And I passed the Frogmore Farms, which was must have been a big plantation at one time. They have tours of the place, big cotton gin that they had over there, and just a big operation. And it's still an active farm operation, big time farmer. And then a little bit down the road, I saw a large Progressive tractor, Case dealership, sitting there, and I said, Progressive, well, that's the name of the Opelousas big store in Opelousas is Progressive. And of course, the Opelousas store is owned by O'Neill Hickenbottom, Thomas Smith, and Eddie Vilmoret, 3 employees of the company, and then they had the opportunity to buy it. I think they had 3 stores at that time, 2 for sure, maybe 3. And now they're up to 15 stores. This is the story I wanted to tell you all about. And besides the Case, they're the largest Case dealer in the South. I'm told, not Louisiana, Bobby, the South,
yeah.
Big time. And that's what I was trying to build up to, is this story here of 3 young men who were working, never probably went there thinking they'd ever owned the place, and then owned so many more opportunities. And the opportunities are going to grow. Case must believe in them. So Case will see whenever they hear a dealer wants to sell, they're going to have an opportunity to buy it. And then what helped that growth in one big spurt was Scott Tractor is sold their division of tractors. They kept some other businesses, but they sold their tractors, which was several of these stores that make up this 15. Now, Kubota, this little Kubota brand here, is in Opelousas, and most of the stores, I got my information from Jude Orman. I knew Jude was real close to him, and Jude writes their insurance. I want to add that to it. Thank y'all fellas a whole lot for helping Dupre Carrier got y'all there, and Jude, of course. And I think the Kubota is in practically every store except one, maybe. There was a Kubota dealer in the area already, so they didn't want to put 2 dealerships in one town, one area. So anyhow, this is what I'm trying to say. The opportunities are out there. Here's 3 young guys that are doing very well. But I'll tell you one thing, I know them like that. I don't know their work habits, but I'll tell you, I bet they put in more hours than anybody else around here, because that brings success.
Absolutely.
And congratulations to you guys. I hope I did a good job of letting the public know that the opportunities are still there. The financing is available. Money is reasonable to borrow right now. It's a good time to grow your business if you possibly can. And when things get better again, you're just sitting in the bird's cage.
There you go. There you go. Now let's go back over.
Yeah, I said that about my little tractor here. About 40 years. I got that when I bought the home I live in. Jim Frugier had bought that little Kubota tractor with the finishing mower. The tires lasted till last year. Can you imagine? I bought a new set of tires with a Cadiana tire and tractor parts.
Well, let's do one more picture here before we go to break, and let's leave on a nostalgic picture. Look at this.
That is a picture of my little Kelly and her mama Adelaide. I'm not sure where that was taken, but that was put on Facebook, and Vicki picked it up and sent it to me last night. And I've got to call Adelaide. She ought to be awake by now. And find out where they took that picture. I can't recall. Probably I probably had the camera in my hand at the time, but I just can't place it all together. There's something missing there. But anyhow, she liked water then, and she loves it today. Thank you for viewing, and thank you. We're going to take a little 1-minute break. 1 minute. We'll be right back with some good pictures. Welcome back to the 3rd quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, along with my sidekick, Mr. Matt LeBlanc. And we operate in 4 quarters, and we hope that you're enjoying the first 2, and we get right into the 3rd quarter, and we'll get a couple of our sponsors off the bat.
Let's talk about Piggly Wiggly in Opelousas, 2 locations in Opelousas and 1 in Simmsport. And of course, Piggly Wiggly, all your grocery needs, you see them and see them for all of that. You can check them out online at www.
Very competitive price-wise, too.
Very competitive, and probably some of the best meats in their meat department that I've seen in any grocery store. They cut their meat fresh daily there. Great produce section. I love doing my shopping at Piggly Wiggly. When I have to pick up something to grill on the way home, Piggly Wiggly's my stop in Opelousas. You can visit them online at www.gotothepig.com and see all of their weekly specials. They have them listed out there. They're running some really good meat specials right now, so go check it out, www.gotothepig.com. And our favorite restaurant, the Steamboat Warehouse over in Washington. You know, it was my mom's birthday on Monday, and she called me. She says, we're going out to eat tonight. And she says, I have to go do some shopping in Lafayette. And she says, you know, where's a good place to eat? And so are you going to be in Lafayette? And she said, yeah. I said, well, go to the Steamboat. It's all the way across in Washington. And that's where they went. They left Lafayette to go all the way to the Steamboat.
But not on a Monday.
Huh?
Not on a Monday.
No, I think this was Tuesday. Her birthday was Monday, but this was Tuesday when they went.
Because they closed on Monday. We
Yeah.
don't want to get people going on Monday.
No. But
they
went
actually
all the way
open
to
for brunch
Steamboat.
on Sunday also. They are open on Sunday, but for brunch. That would be from 11 to 2.
Right, exactly.
And that's well attended. They do well with that brunch. A lot of people going to church, and then after that, they make it an outing. And you'll see Mr.
Jason Huguet.
Well, Jason, but Mr.
Lee.
Well, maybe Lee and Maggie, our fan. But you see Mr. Jeff Bernhard.
Okay.
And the father, the priest from the Immaculate Conception in LeBeau.
Okay.
They eat there. Mr. Jeff has a table that.
Yeah, that's his table
for two.
Huh?
That's his table on Sundays. Anyhow,
good.
good morning to the Bernards. Yep.
So go see him over at Steamboat Warehouse, and make sure you check out his website too, steamboatwarehouse.com. Very nice website.
I want to apologize to Ms. Gwen Frugier and the ladies with the GFWC Unique Club. They were having a rummage sale last Saturday. I apologize. Somehow or another, it got the little note was well done. I just mixed it up somewheres in here. I apologize, and really apologize because half of the profit, the money they made, was going to the cerebral palsy clinic, and you know how I feel about the cerebral palsy.
Very close to our hearts.
Just remember, the first Wednesday in December, it's coming up again. That's right around the corner.
Right.
So save up some money and let's make it bigger and better than ever. It keeps growing. It's not shrinking any. It's really going good, and Andrew will be helping me again this year on that matter. So all excited about that. And on May the 7th, that's today, at noon, the nation of USA will be praying for the safety and to bless our nation and the state of Israel and our leaders. This day is nationwide, and its citizens are asked to meet at city halls, courthouses, or where a meeting is organized, or just where one may be at noon and say a prayer. Prayer day.
Anyway.
Port Barry will be praying at City Hall at 12 noon. And of course, this was sent to me by Miss Fawn Futrell. So, Miss Fawn, thank you for thinking of the Bobby Dupre show. Anytime something going on that she has something to do with it, she asked me to make notice, and we're happy to do it. Miss Fawn, thanks a lot. Got some fond memories of something you did for me many years ago. It showed me the woman power is still there. I didn't know how strong women were on making decisions, but she made a big decision on something that is personal, but it's all good. It was a business transaction, and somebody was trying to get in between my agreement with her, and she says he can go and get himself all the lawyers he wants, but our agreement will stand. And it stood, and Cody and Adelaide still own that piece of property.
There
so
you go. Now, is that might be not her maiden name, Fawn Futrell. Was she a de Villiers?
I'm not
No,
sure
it's not
what.
the same Fawn. Okay.
Not sure. Mr. John and she, they're in, he's deceased, but she is probably in her mid-80s.
Oh, okay. No, that's not
real,
the same one.
real businesswoman. Let's see here. I had a message. Oh yeah, that's. And in May DeVille, a person that thinks of every time that something happens in my life, like my birthday or anything that's of consequence, May Dupre DeVille is going to call me and make a mention of it and wish me a happy birthday, whatever the case is. She is been diagnosed with some cancer, and she's going to be taking treatments at MD Anderson. And please keep her in the prayers, because she prays for others. Now it's our turn to pray for her. That's May DeVille, May and Ray DeVille. And my cousin, Beryl Sebastian, and her son Charlie called me and advised me that they're going to be having a po' boy sale, which will include a sausage po' boy, a bag of chips, and a bottle of water, for trying to raise some money for Beryl's son, Danny Sebastian, who has cancer of the throat and has to go undergo expensive treatments. And so I always say that a family can't handle these by themselves. They need help. And this is, Beryl has been working for ever since they started talking about Veterans Memorial. And of course, she lost a son in Iraq War. So she's had she's got a first-hand feeling of the memorial. Now it's the community's turn to help her. She and the group that is headed up by Pat Mason Gildery. But it's a team, a big team, and the team keeps growing, fortunately, because there's more work to be done there. This will take place on Saturday, May 29th from 11 to 2, and that's going to be held at the KC Council Hall, which is when you turn, you go heading west on 190, across from the Yambali building.
Right.
You take that right, and then right when you go down about an eighth of a mile, on the corner on the right is the KC Council, and that's Highway 104, and if you turn right, that would bring you to the industrial park.
Right.
Gradnigo Island Road, they call that one. Right there is where they're going to hold it, and please keep them in mind. Beryl's done her good, and Danny's been a hard-working young man himself, so let's try to help them. I'll come back with that next week and remind everybody again. And they'll take cash donations now. And somebody will be helping them is Vicki Thibodeau and her husband, Robert. Vicki is a good organizer of these type of functions, and she's volunteered to help. So thank you, Vicki and Robert. Pinnacle Entertainment in talks to sell the assets. Kind of interesting, because Pinnacle owns the LaBerge property in Lake Charles, and the property that just recently, a couple of years now, I guess, in Baton Rouge.
Right.
The LaBerge in Baton Rouge. Pinnacle is a big, and they have a lot of other properties besides that. They're going to be, they're in the process, they're in the talking stage, but seems to be pretty well advanced. They're going to be selling it to gaming and leisure properties. Now, this is kind of strange. The reason I'm talking about this is I bought $5,000 worth of stock in Penn National Racing. Well, Penn National Corporation, I guess, would be. They have racing and they have casinos. They have racetracks, casinos, and all. They're pretty large. They broke out their property assets and opened up gaming and leisure properties.
Okay.
And so my stock, my $5,000 worth of stock is up to about $8,000 in there. And them buying this will probably won't make the stock grow right away, but eventually, within a few years, they're going to be paying this down. And again, now's the time to borrow money, so they're going to be borrowing a lot of money because we're talking about millions and probably several $billion of properties that Pinnacle has. But it just shows you how investments go. I never had any idea that Penn National would ever break off their assets, their property assets away, and now I've got 2 assets, and they're growing. I wish I could say the same thing about my investment in board gaming, but hopefully it'll get back. It slipped. But now that they have Evangeline Downs, I'm pulling more for them than ever because Evangeline Downs brings in a lot of people to Opelousas. I'm very interested. If you have somebody coming in, if you recommend that they stay at the Evangeline Downs Hotel, everybody brags on it. I mean, when I say brag on it, they say the bed. The first thing they tell you how nice the beds are. The ladies say you could put a little stool on the side to help me get in it. It's kind of tall, but once you get in that bed, you'll always remember having a night at Evangeline Downs. Okay, what's the other picture?
Well,
we said we're going to show some pictures.
Yeah, a couple
let's show
other pictures here.
Yep.
So let's get back to where we left off, and
That might be in what, Natchez?
I think so, right around that area.
On the way to Natchez, really. We have that silver car.
Well, let's do. Yeah, I can go down to the silver car first. Let's pull that up.
That's over at Stelli's in LeBeau. Stop there to get me a
There you go.
family-style lunch. And that car belongs to Mr. David Berthall. He's the owner of Berthall Custom Hay Baling and Sales. And his son, they're sitting there, they're having lunch. And commented about the car, and he said, that's mine. And boy, it is a slick little car, really, really. David's a real nice guy, and nice meeting him. And then we go on to a picture of some motorcycles, maybe.
Okay.
And that's in Letchworth, and that's Al and Zell's Express Exxon station there. And I make my bathroom break there, and then I take that long river road all the way to Vidalia and Natchez. And but a beautiful ride.
I like
these
that
were 2
ride.
beautiful motorcycles. I didn't see the cyclists themselves, but pictures of them. I know they nice guys, beautiful bikes.
Sure.
And what's next picture? Let's
next?
just keep on rolling.
Well, we're kind of out of order here, so let me go back up to where we were.
Well, this is on the way to Natchez.
Okay.
Last Thursday. Last Thursday.
Yeah.
You having problems?
Well,
you want me to go sit where you sitting?
I'm gonna have to let you operate it. Huh?
I've never turned the computer on yet.
Is the state capitol, and that was the next one in line when you were talking about the new stuff they installed.
Oh yeah, well go ahead and show it. That's those. What do we call them?
They're like barricades.
Yeah,
it's
they
like
raise
up from the ground.
From the ground, and don't try to sneak in if the person in front of you has a card to get into that protected area. Don't try to follow him in, because what's going to happen is, like one of the legislators tried to do that, and it tore up all the front of his car. He broke the windshield. His head broke the windshield. He ended up in the hospital.
Yeah,
and
that's kind of rough.
That was written up in the newspaper. I'm not making this up.
I've seen these in London, but I hadn't seen them here before.
And they've changed the whole getting around the Capitol. We're going to need a little map on there how to get out. Thanks to Bud Corson, one of our lobbyists with HBPA. By the way, the HBPA board was well represented yesterday at State Capitol. Our lobbyists and all were there. Our friends were there. The Thoroughbred Breeders Association were there, and others. And we defeated a bill that would have reduced the racing days at Louisiana Downs in Bossier, Shreveport area from 80 to 40.
Oh, wow.
And we just could not see that happening. We don't want them to close or anything, but if we gave them the 40 days, we were afraid that Evangeline, Delta, and Fairgrounds might want a reduction in their days, and really cripple our industry. We have a
Right,
beautiful
right.
horse industry. Louisiana's on the top of the bubble there, but we have to be very, very careful.
Sure.
And I think that some other methods can be done to save the race dates over at Louisiana Downs.
Sure, sure.
1 minute break. Welcome back to the fourth quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, and settle down, sit down quietly, and we're gonna be racing here. We like the big races on NASCAR. By the way, Dale Jr. won the race Sunday, and that had to make Jimmy Como real happy. That's my neighbor at the point, he and Vicky, and Vicky Frederick, that is. And they watch NASCAR, and Jimmy knows all the numbers and when they won last and all of that. Good morning to you, Jimmy and Vicky.
Well, let's talk about a couple of our sponsors right here real quick. We've got Carl's Thrifty Way in Opelousas. We want you to go see them for all of your pharmaceutical needs and also gift items. See the gift shop over at Carl's Thrifty Way. I told you it was my mom's birthday this week. Naturally, where do I get a present? Carl's Thrifty Way. The gift shop there was the perfect place. Mother's Day is what? Sunday.
This Sunday.
Go to Carl's Thrifty Way, get your mama a present. That's the perfect place for it. And we are going to take a trip across town to Targill Seasoning, Butcher Supplies, Cutlery, Kitchen Supplies on Wartell Avenue.
And if your mama likes to cook,
hey, there you go.
you
That's
can
another
get
good
some
gift.
nice pots, and you can get some nice selection of knives and all.
Oh,
you,
great,
you
great
can't
cutlery.
ever have too many knives available
agree with you
between the
100%.
kitchen, the outdoor kitchen, the camp. You always needing some good knives, and that's what
knives,
they
that's the
started.
key.
That's what they started with was butcher supplies, but now it's also an industrial type brand, but it's for homes and camps and
That's right.
outings that you fundraisers and all that.
So visit them online at www.targill.com. Now let's go to some pictures right here. Let me pull up this slide. There we go, and we will pull up some of your pictures here. Let's talk about, I got a pretty picture I want to show you right here. It's making me hungry. There you go.
Ooh, look at those crawfish. And that was the crawfish ball that annually is sponsored by Keith Fountain.
Keith right
with
here.
Keith in the middle right here with two of his guests. And something happened to some of the pictures. I had more, I thought I
we
had
got a
taken some
couple.
more. Well, I know
There's
I have a
another one
couple.
there.
This is, Keith Fountain owns the Fountain Agency. Basically, he specializes in flood claims across the country out of Pineville, Louisiana. You remember I was saying how you have an idea and you can grow it? Look at what he does. He does work throughout the United States. And whenever there's a flood, the phone starts ringing in Pineville, Louisiana. Send us some adjusters right away. We need to settle these claims out. And he does this big blowout at the Grand Hotel in Natchez, Louisiana. And there's all the tables setting up. Then the next picture is the band. He brings in a band that played. They must have played till 11 o'clock. There was nobody out there, but they must have a contract to play, and they played.
There's a picture in the hotel.
In the hotel, right next to the elevator. That's on the wall there.
And some people in the
That's
hotel.
my little buddy that introduced me to Keith Fountain. Right. Noel and his lovely little girlfriend, Miss Crystal. And they enjoyed their stay. And then on just before the crawfish ball, just before the crawfish ball, they had to go make another crawfish ball in Baton Rouge at an insurance function. So they made both of them. And here's my favorite bartender in Natchez and just about anywhere else, Brian. Good morning to you, Brian. He's been there since the hotel opened probably 10 years ago. And
in the bathroom.
In the bathroom. This is, I'm not going to say where, but this is a picture of little Jesus. And
you got a nice pretty garden right here.
That's in my backyard, and that's thanks to Melody and Frances. Originally from, she's got family and lived in the Acadiana, Lafayette area.
Yeah?
Yeah, so when I mention her name, somebody out there is going to know her. Good morning to all of you. And Ron does the good job of having my place either heated up or cooled down, whichever the temperature needs to be taken care of when I visit. Kind of like I have the same thing with Jimmy Como at the Point. I call him up and everything is ready when I get there. What good neighbors I have, good friends.
Then you left Natchez, and I'm not sure if this is on the way back right here. You got some cars over at the gas station.
Yep.
Is that in Lettsworth?
No, this is in Jonesville.
Oh, okay.
That's a Why Not Stop store they have in Jonesville. Look at the cars all just loaded up.
Yeah.
And it looks, the sign, and of course, makes it look just like the one that you're going to see. That's Faye. Miss Faye, good morning to you all. In the next picture, the young lady in the middle knew Mr. Jim Thornton, who set up my Chevron station on 182 and Judson Walsh. That man was from Jonesville. Whenever he'd get through with his day's work in Jonesville, he'd run up to Opelousas and check on the status of that project. What a man, and died in his sleep at a grand opening in Lake Charles. One of the few nights that he didn't go home to sleep in his own bed. He was in Lake Charles for a grand opening the next day and didn't make it. Anyhow, she said, Miss Diane works and maybe owns a station down the road, but I didn't have time to stop to really look. I didn't see what she was trying to describe me, but thank you, ladies. Y'all were very, very friendly. I enjoyed my stay. And Why Not Stop is kind of one of these companies that's growing real fast.
Well, they had another location you stopped at a little bit later in the trip in Marksville.
Marksville, Mansur. I'm not sure what the license says, but there's Robert, and Robert saw Vicky the next day, and he says, I met your boyfriend. He stopped in here and took my picture and visited with me. And I sure did. And
looks like a nice place.
Oh, that beautiful place.
Inside.
And then this was Saturday when I was coming back from Winfield.
Oh, okay. I thought that was at the Why Not Stop.
No. This is at the Fresh Catch Bar and Grill, and he's got a little brewery. He's making beer. I think he's up to 3 different flavors of beer.
Wow.
And this couple here,
that's Mike and Melanie.
Mike and Melanie from they live in Alexandria. They had drank some of the beer, and she says she doesn't generally like beer, but they loved the beer that he was promoting at the function they had attended on Friday night. We had stopped there basically to watch the Kentucky Derby, and of course American Pharaoh won the race, and a friend that I showed his picture last week, David Smith, who's in Alexandria promoting car sales at Hickson Complex, Auto Complex, had given me the name of the horse that ran second, Firing Line. And of course, I don't bet, and it would have been a good bet because it had good odds. Even though it came in second, it paid good. And that's about,
we got a, I'm sorry.
What?
You want to pull that one up right now?
Yeah,
we can do that. Sure.
Pull that picture up. Okay. And this is a death of Mr. Lilliard E. Payne. He goes by L.E. Payne, and of course the family and close friends call him Pappy. And 92 years young, very, very active in the Masonic Lodge, different orders they have within the Masonic fraternal group, and very, very active, and that's one of his outfits that I guess shows some status and medals in different groups that he was 92 years old, and of course I called his son that I know, Sandy, this morning, Wednesday morning, and I had just learned about it reading my papers from the back. I was being gone. I missed, but he was glad that I thought about him. And he survived, of course, by his other son, Cleve, and a daughter named Cynthia. So Mr. Payne was very active in the finance business for years and years. And at death here, he still was in finance with Acadiana Mortgage out of Crowley, Louisiana. And I also cut out some other articles this morning in recent deaths and how old people are living. Now, this is all in basically one newspaper here. Age 92, Miss Ruth Perrette. Age 87, Mr. Pierre Fautier. Age 86, Mr. Willis Lester. Miss Mary Murray, age 91. Miss Doris Phillips, age 93. All of these are recent deaths, and so people are living much, much older, which brings me up to kind of thinking, if you haven't started your retirement plans, financial plans, please do so. Don't put it off another day, because if you put it off another day, it's going to be another day, and it doesn't come, and all of a sudden you're going to be 55 years old. And
that out for you right there.
And you're going to be realizing it's kind of late to start.
Yeah.
Start today.
Absolutely.
Financial planning.
I wanted to show this picture too.
This picture was given to me yesterday, was brought over to the office by the Philip Onderpont Printing Company. And it's a picture of the Opelousas JC's Presents Awards. And on the bottom left is R.L. Taylor from the Bunkie, well, St. Landry Parish, but a Bunkie mailing address. He was chosen Outstanding Young Farmer of the Year. Leon Tujac on the right, Leon Tujac Jr., Outstanding Young Man of the Year. He's deceased. Mr. Kirby Fontenot, who shared the honors with Robert Vautier as Outstanding Bosses of the Year. That was the Church Point Wholesale Beverage Division. The Schlitz and Bud, not Bud, Old Milwaukee.
Right.
And then in the middle, the top picture is my brother Cody, and on the right is my brother John, and they received certificates of appreciation for their cooperation with the JC's program. Well, what they did is they loaned the bread camp every year, and they did other things, but that was the highlight of our annual event for the JC's in the Opelousas area, was the night out at the Red Camp on Bayou Catawba. And what you punching
now look,
me?
you got some pictures left of the school in
Bourdonville, yes.
So I'm going to go through those kind of quick here.
Okay, and that they took an old building. That's across the street right here. That's the fire department. And across the street is the old school. They've got their flag flying high already, proudly. And they are restoring this building. They formed an alumni group, and they're raising money, and I want to give them a donation. And they're going to hold the church fair this year at this facility. It's got a nice, large parking, off-street parking. This is where they're going to do the cochon de lait cooking. Look at the
pigs there.
Yep. They're going to hang them right there. Beautiful setup. Guys and girls, y'all are doing a wonderful job. What an honor to be able to go back to the school where you got your start in education.
Now, we've got a few pictures left from Winfield that we didn't get to, but
we'll have to get to them next week. Our prayer for today is, my Lord and my God, make me the spirit of worldliness. Let me aspire to live according only to what is pleasing to you, my God. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for your help. And this weekend, as every weekend, Matt and I ask you to consider attending the church of your choice.